I'm here for the first time, waiting for new experience and help on self-service. When I was here for the first time, I got acquainted with many people, found a lot of friends. I had a good time, also tried to live on my own, without anybody's help. I don't live very well, better to say survive. I have 2 daughters. After the accident, I didn't look for a job, because there had already been 2 children. We live on pension and get alimony from my husband. After I got injury, I didn't look for a job, because I couldn't get used to this state. And now I have decided that I want to work and fulfill myself. I have higher education, and before the accident I worked as a teacher of history at school. To the camp I came from the village of Lytton district. My sister helps me very much. I am fond of reading books, talking to friends. I am looking forward to new impressions in this camp. To Vinnytsia I get with parents or relatives, to the camp by myself. And so will I do the whole next week, learn to move by myself, make my bed, support the weaker, ask for help. 12 boys and girls from different corners of Vinnytsia region have only 7 days to realize a different model of life and human relationships of a person in a wheelchair, to take on the role of self-organizer and remove the barriers in outlook. Generally, each camp is unpredictable. This is the 10th one, our anniversary, but still we cannot predict what will happen. Different people build unlike relationships. Somebody can do something, somebody nothing. It's like a living organism that we will create together. Everyone brought his own fate, his own life story. And these stories have 7 days to merge into one, as everyone has to pass his experience and learn as much as possible for themselves. The camp seminar for youth in the wheelchairs from all districts and villages of Vinnytsia region is the unique project not only in the region but also in Ukraine. For 7 days, boys and girls are living without their parents, learning to be independent. Psychologists, lawyers, doctors, social experts are working with them. Shared accommodation and leisure allow exchanging experience and making important decisions. 75 people in wheelchairs who have been trained in the camp for 9 years entered educational institutions, mastered professions, great families. It should be a young person between 18 and 30 years who can cope, help himself and be adequate, mentally sound. Every year Olena personally communicates with future members of the school, learns about their hobbies, education, living conditions. It was she who thought up to unite people in wheelchairs, because once she lacked any conditions for self-realization and advice for future life. During the interview we set people on the fact that the camp is not recreation but work. There is a schedule and regime. And at the end of the camp we give them homework. To find people similar to them who also need help. We orient the person what to do next. In a few kilometers from Vinnytsia, a recreation base, the Enchanted Lake, is situated. The 10th anniversary camp is to be held in such a place, comfortable and surrounded by scenery. Houses are fully adapted for people in wheelchairs. Ramps, entrances of sufficient width, spacious rooms with cozy interior, properly equipped toilets and showers. Gymnastics in the air takes place every morning. Physical culture is one of the ways to engage people with disabilities in an active social life. Everything should be useful and fun. When the breakfast is delicious and nutritious, talks at the tables are vivid. Recently, newcomers become more active in communication every day. We get acquainted in a game, telling about ourselves. We perform various movement exercises to make friends actively. We unite people in different groups and see who is more active and who is passive, who has to be shaken up. The first day after dinner, we drank tea, communicated, sang with a guitar. It was a unifying factor. And the next day we saw who were friends and who were more sociable. Having tasted nutrients, pupils of the school start the day actively and hurry to the psychological group. This is one of the most important forms of work with people in wheelchairs. Failures and pain, fear and barriers. Psychologists do their best to discern the inner world of each interlocutor, to understand and give advice. The group is being formed. Some rules are accepted to ensure trust and openness. For start, we offer several exercises to become a little closer. On the third day, we can work with people more deeply, because in the process they activate certain experience. Problems, difficulties, something unproven, something what was no time to think of, when someone insulted. If people have acquired a disability, we deal with post-traumatic disorders. The main question is how to fight, how to accept themselves. And people with congenital disabilities are primarily concerned with adaptation in the society. From the very beginning, such people have a lot to adjust to. After the birth, a child is dependent on the mother, on the environment, on everybody. Having got to our camp, these problems accumulate, because you constantly have to adjust. On the third day, Ludmila looked at her life with optimism. Classes with psychologists pointed her not only to the steps in restoring efficiency, but the girl felt love for history and desire to work at school again. Every training I unclose more and more. Earlier in the company, which I knew only for 4 days, I would never be open like that. I see people after injuries who do not give up, but work on. And I also want to return to my occupation. I want to work as a teacher again. This is Victoria. It's difficult for her to get used to life in the group, though she is not for the first time in the camp. Hypercared in the family and helpless at home, he has a lot of decisions to which she is actively pushed in the camp. It's difficult for me. I'm in strained physical condition. I know that I wanted to come here, but it's still hard. Maybe the next few days will give me more. Staying here, I'll comprehend something. After returning home, new ideas may appear. If parents do not let go, you need to build relationships with them. You have to arrange your life in such a way that the parents see that you can do something on your own. During the training, I exemplified. If you have to go to Social Security, do not go with your parents. They still show your dependency. Where is your independence if you go with the mother and you just sit there and they talk only to a mother? You have to build your life as an independent person. Sasha also lives in a village. He has a degree in economics and knows a lot about difficulties in seeking a job. But he doesn't give up and looks at life philosophically. All the pain and anxiety he began to express on paper. At the beginning I wrote almost every day, but then I took a break, because verses should mature and become better.
Не зламають крила за плечима, думок моїх не закують, допоки діти з ясними очима у цьому світі ще живуть, допоки сонце квітку зігріває, тепло свого проміння просто віддає. Я знатиму, немарно витрачаю, насичене днями життя своє.
While Sasha is looking for new poetic images, Andriy doesn't miss an opportunity to go fishing. On the river bank he can relax and enjoy life. For not to lose impressions, it's better to write them down, believes Yevgeny, and takes a pen and a sheet of paper. Today I liked watching people with impaired hearing. It's quite interesting people who also have some limited capacity. But I really liked their language, how they speak. I decided that in future, if possible, I will learn their language. Masterclass of learning sign language is new for this year's camp. Elementary signs of teacher Andriy Koval were readily absorbed by all members of the school, and for a moment they were able to penetrate into the mysterious world of the impaired hearing. The active camp life doesn't abate for a minute, and Raisa Panasyuk invites everybody to press conference with local media. A range of activities taking place in the camp for the socialization of people in wheelchairs are such: educational talks, employment trainings, self-service and making use of benefits, psychological groups and outdoor activities. Partners of the school are more than satisfied by the results. This is one of our hard-won projects. It's even difficult to compare it with something more important or necessary. Raisa Vasilyevna said properly that this is generally the only one opportunity for such people to come from villages and districts, to socialize, to see people with similar life situations. Hippotherapy is another particularity of outdoor activities in School of Independent Life. The positive impact of riding on the human backbone and much more on emotions and psyche was noted by all riders, though some sat on the horse for the first time in life. People with disabilities are treated by such beautiful animals. At once I told my mother that I was very afraid and wouldn't climb onto the horse, and then decided not to miss the opportunity, and it was very cool, really very cool.
В детстве мы были разные, были вопросы странные. Мама, а как называется то, что летит в облаках?
Volunteer Mikhailo sets the mood in the camp not only by his presence, but also by the guitar. His songs and jokes especially fit conversations during evening tea. It's very important for these people to feel that they are the integral part of the society, that they can be as others, can do the same things as we do. Mikhailo is also responsible to the disco repertory, as the dancing therapy is a constant component of the camp program. We try to choose for them such kind of music that they can move. Not just any song, but such compositions people know, hear somewhere on the radio and can dance. Some people in wheelchairs do not understand whether they can dance or not. And it's a great experience for them they haven't got yet. At first I make them dance, because not all of them agree, but then they don't want to get away from the dance floor.
Час прийшов позбутися панчох. Ох, ах, що ж за непруха, лються сльози в'януть вуха.
I would advise all the participants who are not for the first time here not to treat the camp as just the regular meeting with friends, but to take something from it and to embody this knowledge into practice, not just to spend time in a good company, to rest and depart again. Susanna from LNC district bases at most on her own experience in dealing with people in wheelchairs. Once in 1206, she was also invited to the camp. Parents timidly let her go, but what the girl had and saw completely changed her outlook. Having left house walls, she studied successfully, professionally goes in for sports and conducts trainings at School of Independent Life herself. I tried to make people speak out, so that they could behave like in real life. I ask where they study, what they do at home. Sometimes I watch how a person sits or moves, whether he has cramps or convulsions, and in such situation I can advise something. I